Hi, and welcome to Mission Success with Common Core, Florida's English Language Arts Formative Assessment System. My name is Karen Owens, and I am the project manager for the platform team, and I'll be walking you through today an overview of what is expected during the field test and what is the ultimate goal of the Florida English Language Formative Assessment Project that is a part of Race to the Top grant funding that was secured by the Florida Department of Education. I work for a company called Pearson. Pearson is a large textbook publisher as well as venturing off to many aspects of education. Our philosophy is always learning. We learn from each other, we learn from you as teachers and principals, we learn from you at the State Department of Education. And what we hope to do is to bring all that learning together to provide you with high quality content. Within the Florida repository, what you're going to see are English Language Arts formative assessments. There are two parts to this platform. One part is a digital repository, which I want you to think of as a library. The second part is a learning management system, which is an online classroom for you. During this field test, you will have access to the repository and you will have access to your own special online classroom. That learning management system that we're using is an open source learning management system called Moodle. Now, as I ask you to think about the repository as a library, you know, libraries often have different collections. They have fiction, they have nonfiction, they have periodicals. Well, within the repository, we too will have different collections. These collections will be titled a little bit different than a library would, but in essence, it's the same concept. When this goes public, and when I say public, I mean when this is available to all teachers throughout the state of Florida, the vision is to have a teacher contribution collection where you as a teacher could upload content that has been tagged to the Common Core State Standards that you want to share with other teachers throughout the state. We are currently developing formative assessment tasks or activities, if you will, and passages. Usually these are reading passages that are associated with the activity. We will also have a collection of help resources and professional development toolkits and modules. Now, once your classroom is created upon your registration for the field test, there is what we will refer to as a push-pull functionality between the repository and Moodle. You can push content from the repository directly into your online classroom, or you can pull content out of the repository directly into your Moodle classroom. So I'll explain that a little bit more as we move forward. The vision by the DOE is that one day, and we hope that is sooner than later, an instructor, let's say in Walton County, signs on through the DOE single sign-on application, then uploads a high-quality content that they've created or that they've taken and modified and tags it to specific Common Core standards. And then a second teacher, let's say in Nassau County or Miami-Dade County, one day says, you know, this Common Core standard, I really need to find some really good material that I can use with my students. I wonder what teachers in other areas are using. So the teacher in Miami-Dade or Nassau, teacher 2, can go in and search by the Common Core State Standard, find items that are tagged to that standard, and pull those down to their computer. They can print them out. They could pull them into their Moodle classroom. So that the concept is for all teachers within the state to be able to share information and have one location where they can go to find this information. So now what I want to do is take you directly into the platform. This is a screenshot of what the website looks like, but instead of taking you through PowerPoint slides, I want to take you directly into the platform. So if I click here on platform, it's going to bring me to this URL up here at the top. The URL is the address of the website, CC standing for Common Core, ELA standing for English Language Arts, and FA standing for Formative. And you can see that this is housed on servers at the DOE. So what you're seeing right now is the landing page that anybody in the world has access to view right now. Anybody that has this URL can see this page. Now, we don't have a lot of people right now accessing this page throughout the world because we haven't publicized this site, but I will tell you that I did a Google search on PD Toolkits, and sure enough, this site was populated. So it will bring people to this site. Now, why is this important to you? Well, eventually you're going to be able to send family members of your students to this site to learn more about how you're using Common Core State Standards in your classroom. There will be sample tasks available, sample student work available. There will be family resources in Spanish and in Haitian Creole, as well as English. Now, the entire site will not be in Spanish and Haitian Creole, but all family resources will be. So that this will be a resource for you to direct people to learn more about what you're doing in your classroom. Currently, the professional development toolkits and the professional development modules are available to anybody without a user account, anybody that has access to this URL. So the first thing you're going to do as a field test participant is you're going to look over here on the left and you're going to log in for educators. So when I click log in, I'm going to enter a sample teacher, John Hughes at elateacherdemo.com. And your username will always be your school or district email address. And then you were sent an automated generated password to use to sign in. I'm going to use this sample teacher's password. If you have ever forgotten your password, you can put in your email address and forgot password, and if you are a registered user, it will generate a new password for you. So now you can see that it has me signed in as John Hughes, ELA Teacher Demo. And now you'll see more information. Again, my name is Karen Owens, and I will be posting notifications for you throughout this field test. The field test was open April 1st, and it will run through May 24th. You are free to come and go during that time as much as you want. When you first sign in, what you might want to do is click here on Profile. When you click on Profile, it's going to bring you, if your name is wrong, you can change it here. If you want to change your password, which I highly suggest that you do, you click here, put in your old password, and enter your new password. Have it mean something to you. I'm going to cancel out of this. I don't want to change my particular password now, but then you would save it. So that would be your first step. As you can see over here on the left from the guest page now, we've expanded a lot, and you have a lot more items that you're able to take a look at because the system knows that you're a field test participant. I have some updated training schedule here for you. I have step-by-step guides with screenshots on using the ELA repository as well as using your online classroom in Moodle. The first thing you're probably going to be interested in are the tasks. So over here on the left, you'll see a link. If you click on this link, it's going to bring you to a search page that includes all of the tasks that are currently available for you to use in your classroom from now until May 24th. They are sorted by what the system believes to be relevant. So any one of these that was edited last will show up first. That's how it will be too when this goes public to everyone. So the most recent contributed materials will always be at the top. Now, while that's good going forward, for this particular purpose, you're probably going to want to search by grade level. So out of these 59 tasks, you're going to want to find out which ones are on your grade level or on the student's grade level that you're working with. So if you click Edit Query, that's going to bring you to what we refer to as an advanced search. and if you click on the drop-down box, you can find your grade level. Now, during this field test, we only have tasks available for kindergarten through 5th grade. Eventually, we will have kindergarten through 8th grade tasks available. But during this field test, it's limited to K through 5, and it's limited to reading foundational standards. So if I'm a 4th grade teacher, I'll click on 4th grade and I'll hit search. Now you will see that it filtered out all of the tasks that were not specified to be on a 4th grade level. So here you see there are 6. What we hope is that you will be able to look through these, and it looks like here this description is to be determined, but most of them do have descriptions here, and you can read through the description, you can look at the title and see if you can find something that will work with what you're already doing in your classroom, because these tasks were all written to be able to support you as you get your student from point A to mastery of that Common Core State Standard. Now, we also know that just because you teach 4th grade doesn't mean all of your students are on a 4th grade level. So you can edit this query at any time. You could say, you know, I'm working with a group of students that are at a 3rd grade level. I want to search for grade 3. And when I do, then it's going to bring up those. You may use any of the tasks, kindergarten through 5th grade, that are appropriate for any students that you're working with, no matter what your primary grade level assignment is. So as I peruse through these, maybe I'm teaching suffixes, and I want to look at decoding Latin suffixes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the title of the task. And when I do, it's going to bring me to what we refer to as an item summary page. This is just more of a summary of what the item is about. Again, the description, the grade level. If there is any associated reading passage that here is referred to as an associated stimuli, it will be attached right here. If there is nothing attached, that means that the directions within the task document do not include a reading passage. So this is the document. Below the document, you will see the Common Core State Standard that it is associated with. In this particular case, there's a primary standard and a secondary standard. You will then see any comments below that have been left by your fellow teachers and any star ratings. And if you use this particular task in your course, what we're asking is that after you use it, you come back and you leave a comment. But at this point, you're just perusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this to actually see the task. Now, we support all browsers. I happen to be an Internet Explorer, but we support Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and they all ask it a little bit different. This is asking me if I want to save it to my desktop or if I want to open it. I just want to open it right now because I just want to see if this is something that I really do want to use in my classroom. When you open the document, and they will all be Word documents, the template is the same no matter what task you're looking at. Everything on the left will remain the same, and of course, the content on the right will change depending upon the task. So again, here are the two Common Core State Standards, a description. Here's the material that you will need for the game. They then, or the task. They then provide you with considerations for planning, what you need to do in advance. Throughout, you will see ELL considerations merged in with the template. It gives you a suggested time allotment and a suggested group size. If you do use this and you come back to comment, if this took your class a much longer time or a much shorter time, please do let us know that. And if you decided to use this with a different size group, please let us know and let us know how it worked. Below this, you will see step-by-step task directions for the teacher. And again, this is true of every task that is available for you to field test. Below the step-by-step directions is a rubric. All of the rubrics have 4 levels, from beginning understanding to advanced understandings. And each level will give you misconceptions and student errors that may happen, questions to help you pull deeper thinking from your students, and any instructional implications. Again, you can see the ELL considerations are integrated throughout. So again, here we go, level 2 and level 3 and 4. So I'll continue down the rubric. After the rubric, what you will find is any student or teacher-facing material that is needed. Anything that you need to complete this task will be provided in this document. So this looks like there's a game chart for you to use. And let's see what else there is. Here are words for you to use to make word cards. You are free to make these your own, to change these. Perhaps you want to add some words that are from your spelling list, or words that or something that your students are reading right now. Please feel free to do that. Just let us know how you were able to use that to make it more relevant for your student. Here's a teacher key for this game. And I believe that's all. So after you've looked at that, you can close out of this window. It will always open the task in a new window, so you're not kicked out of the website. If you decide that you want to use this, you might want to add it to your favorites. That way, if you're looking this week and you're going to try to find a couple tasks that you think you'd like to use in your classroom, and you're going to come back next week, let's say, and actually start to use those tasks, you can add it to your favorites. You can tag it. You might want to say, great. This may look really great to you. You don't have to use a tag, but you can. Then what this will do is it will tell you that it has successfully added it to your favorites. If you look over here in the left-hand navigation, you can find favorites. So if you click here, you can see that that particular task that I was looking at has now been added to my resources. I could also save searches if I want to. So when I searched for grade 4 or grade 3, I could save that search and it would put it under searches for me. But I saved an actual resource here. Now what this does is that John Hughes has his favorites, but you as teacher Ashley or teacher Fred or teacher Mary, you have your own favorites, and no one other than yourself can see your favorites. Your own personal folder, if you will. This may not be as important with just 59 tasks, but it may be a useful area for you to have. So let's say I do decide to use this. What I want to do then is I only want to print off the material that I need. You don't need to print off the entire document unless you want to. You can download it and save it into your online classroom or your computer if you want to. You could just print out one sheet if you need to. You can use it to project things onto a screen if you need to. Whatever works for you. You could use this on your iPad as you walk around the room. You could use this on your phone. Whatever method works the best for you. But after you've used this in the classroom, we would like you to come back and leave us some comments. Tell us what you thought about this task. Maybe this was really great, and I would, and it has a spell checker, so that'll help you. And I would also use with my 4th graders. I don't know, whatever you want to tell us. And the more in depth you can be, the better. Because the more information and the more feedback we have from you, the better we can make these tasks for when we open them up to the rest of the teachers within the state of Florida. Now, I will tell you that these tasks, these 59 tasks, were written by Florida teachers just like yourself in conjunction with the Florida Center for Reading Research based in Tallahassee and Pearson Content Specialists. They have been vetted by external experts and by DOE subject matter experts. So I'm going to rate this a 4. Now watch what happens. When I add a comment, the system will know who I am. So it will say John Hughes and show you exactly what I wrote. this is going to be helpful to you moving forward, because when we have over 2,000 tasks, you might be interested, just as you are if you go to any other website that has reviews about clothing or stereos or anything else. What are people saying about this? Did they like it? Did they not like it? And that's what's going to be available to you statewide. Now, let's say that you do want to make a comment, but you want to do it anonymously. So this was just okay. Not great. Now, and so you only want to rate it a 2. If you want to add anonymously, you don't want to tell who you are, then you will click this button. Now, this really isn't very helpful to us if you say it's just okay and not great. Tell us why you didn't like it. Tell us how we could have made it better. That would really be the type of feedback we need. But again, it's totally up to you. So now watch what happens when I add a comment. It will add anonymous, and it will not record you as the user. All right? So you are not under any requirement to use a minimum number of tasks. If you can only use one task in your classroom with your students and then come back and give us feedback, that's great. If you get really excited and want to test out all 59 tasks, God bless you, and we would love you to be able to do that. But we understand you're under time constraints. So whatever you can do, we would appreciate it. The more feedback we can get, the better. And this is basically all there is to where the tasks are. There are 2 other areas that I want to point out to you: PD toolkits and PD modules. These will open in a new window, and we'd like you to peruse through them. Again, leave us comments and leave us star ratings, please. This professional development toolkit is pulled together by the Florida Center for Reading Research. Again, has been through a vetting process, and it's providing you with materials to use that have already been created by others in your classroom. Student activities, teaching strategies, various materials. So for different grade levels, there's various things that you will see listed here. So what we'd like you to do is just click around, visit some of the websites. Some of them have a video like this, other PDFs for you to print out. This looks like it's opened in it went to a new website, but you can see actually it's just the way the programmers have packaged it. We're still on the same website. So if you could go through here and let us know what you think, that would be helpful as well. Now, the PD modules are set up the same way, and here are the first 2 modules. We did have one of the teachers, Lena, who says here, I cannot access my module presentation, any of the module presentations. Do I need a certain software to view them? No, you do not. You ought to be able to view without having to have any other software. So I was able to get a hold of Lena, and I was able to determine that she was on an older machine and she was running on a version that was not rendering things properly. And I'll show you what wasn't rendering properly. If you click on the professional development modules, and we only have 2 currently available, but when you click here, you will see that an automatic video is going to start.
Welcome to the module, English Language Arts Common Core States.
This was what she could not see. And this material below goes along with the module. So we're going to work with our programmers so that we can try to make sure every browser and every version can be supported so that you can see this. So if you run into any of these problems, we do want you to reach out and let us know, because we are in development and we want to try to solve all of these problems before this goes out to the rest of the state. So I'm going to close out of here. And again, you can see now you do not have to leave a star rating if you didn't want to, and this one didn't pertain to that. But this is very, very helpful for us. So we'd appreciate it if you would go through those. I want to point out to you over here on the left that there is support. If you click on the support link, you will see that we do have a help desk. We have a dedicated local and toll-free line and a dedicated email. This is run by the Florida Center on Reading Research. You might be familiar with the PMRN Help Desk. This is the same great group of people that are helping us out. It is open Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5, and Friday, 7 to 4. We also have a teacher FAQ to help you with troubleshooting. We have guides available that I pointed out that were on the home page, and they are also in the Help Resources collection. And I'll be adding more to those as we go. So we want you to be sure and look through those. So this really is what's happening over on the repository side. So for just the last couple of minutes, I want to take you into the online classroom. If you click here on Moodle, it will bring up the Moodle site again on the servers, a slightly different URL. And you were provided that when you were provided with your username and your sign in for Moodle. So I'm going to go here to log in. It remembers me because I have used this in a demo before, and it remembers my password. So I'm going to log in. What you will see is your school name here, and then you will see your name here. So you will click on that, and this then brings you to your classroom. You don't have to use Moodle during this field test. I've had people say to me, Karen, I really don't need that. I just want to get to the tasks. That's fine. But if you do have a chance, we would like you to go into the classroom and use some of this material. And let us know if you think it would be of value to your colleagues, because we're relying on your feedback to make this the best that we can for all Florida teachers K through 8. Here you'll see that we have setup guides over here. One of the first things to do is to add students. Now, what I want to point out is that eventually you will be able to give students accounts where they can actually go into the classroom. During the field test, that functionality is not available. You will simply add students to be able to score their performance level based upon the rubrics that you saw within the tasks. But no students will be involved here. Now, we expect once we open this up to K through 8, especially the 6th through 8th grade teachers may want their students to go in, and there may be some of you at K through 5 that would like your students eventually to go in, or parents to go into your classroom. But at this point, it is just teacher only. So over here, step-by-step directions. If I want to create a user, I come here, I enter their first name and last name. Let's see. Ashley Sims. Now the grade is optional. Maybe you're a reading coach and you want to indicate that Ashley is in 3rd grade. It's completely up to you. Maybe you know what they are. You don't even need to enter in that field. Completely up to you. You create the user. Now what I want to point out to you is that there is a dummy email that is created for the student. Moodle is open source, meaning it's free. And we are doing customization to it to make it particular to this project, but there's some things that are hard-coded into Moodle. And one of the things that's hard-coded is each user needs an email address. So in the background, what we've done is some programming to assign a dummy email to them, because we understand that kindergarten through 5th grade students don't have email addresses, and if they do, we certainly don't need to collect that information. So you can continue to add your students. When you're finished, you can click on participants, and you'll see now that I've entered quite a few students already here. And these would be students that I would be working with. I will use this then in another area to be able to, again, score student performances on. Okay. So let's go back to the course. I'm not going to take you through each and every one of the steps that are available over here on the left. But each one does have step-by-step directions. So what I want you to notice is this little button, Turn on Editing. Look right here at this page. Now look what happens when I turn on editing. When I turn on editing, now we have all of these symbols. These symbols allow me to do various things. I could move something around. I have two of the two tasks down here. So if I decided I didn't want that task, I can click on the red X. I can delete it from my classroom. The other thing I can do is that eventually when students are using it, let's say you've pulled tasks in and you've pulled actual documents in and you are having students go in, there's a calendar available. So there's a little eye here, and if you click on the eye, it hides that activity from students. It knows if you're logged in as a student or teacher, so you could see that you've pulled this in, but maybe you're going to hide it from your students because you don't want them to see it for another couple weeks. So that's what the eye is about. One of the things that I want to show you though is how to add an activity. If you click here, it's going to say, where do you want to find the activity? I'm going to tell it to go to the English Language Arts repository, and that's where I want to add an activity from. So now you'll see a screen here, and it knows who I am. Remember, I signed in as John Hughes, so it knows that I put this in my favorites. So I could simply click right here onto my favorites, or I could search the entire repository. This is part of the push-pull situation that I described earlier. One of the things you may notice is that there are 64 results, and I told you there are only 59 tasks. That's because it's looking for all resources. So within here, there are also going to be listed guides. So if I click here and I just look at the Field Test 2013, if I look at all of the tasks, in fact, you will see the 59. This should look fairly familiar to you, just what I showed you in the repository. So why go to the repository? Why not just come here and search for things? You can certainly do that, but this window is smaller and takes more scrolling, so I find that the user experience is a little better over on the repository side when you're trying to find tasks. But if this scrolling doesn't bother you, you really could just come into your online classroom and never go to the repository side because you can find everything from right here. So let's say I'm going to click on Sentence Scrabble. Again, it's going to bring up that item summary page just like it did before. You can see everything, you can enter comments, you can do everything. I'm going to select this one, which is just a little bit different, and I'm going to say I want to select it. It tells me I've selected one item. I could select multiple, and I want to return these to my online classroom. So I'm going to click return. I could bring others in, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to bring others in. I could continue selecting, but I say, yep, those are the ones I want to put in my classroom. So now when you come back here, look what happens. It adds it directly in here. So that is the pull functionality of Moodle. So if you do get a chance, we would certainly like you to give us feedback to let us know how easy or difficult this was for you to follow along, how useful you feel that this may be with your students. So back in the repository, one of the things that I forgot to point out to you was, remember this button over here that sorted items by relevance? Well, you can also sort by user ratings. So if you sort by user rating, it's going to bring the ones with the 5-star first, and it's going to show you there's one comment. So this particular one was rated 5-star. It has one comment. You can take a look at it. Someone wrote this anonymously that it was a great way to help reluctant readers review vowel sounds, and they thought it was a great game. And so these are by field test teachers just like yourself. Now, the user rating may not be as important to you right now with 59 tasks, but I'm sure it certainly will be once we have over 2,000 tasks in there. You'll also be able to do things like sort by user, so that if there is a lead teacher or a teacher that really you see as your mentor, you might want to follow that teacher and see what kind of contributions they're making. During the field test, there won't be any teacher contribution other than comments, but eventually there will be. So this is an introduction to the field test for 2013. I'm going to go back now to my PowerPoint and just wrap up here. Again, there is the ELA Help Desk that opened April 1st, and it will be open through May 24th. We want you to please use that great group of people. We don't want you to be frustrated. We want to help you as much as possible. Again, you can reach out to me. My name is Karen Owens. You can reach me at karen.owens@pearson.com with any questions that you might have. Thank you and have a great day.